Hello and welcome back to the Ministry of Mindset channel. This is Nathan Hall. So glad you joined us. As we did last week and the week before, I'm joined again by my brothers Ray and Jake. Together we do the Knowledge and Power podcast. You can find that on all your major podcast outlets, Anchor, Apple, Google, Spotify, you name it, we're there. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time. We think we're going to have a pretty good conversation this week. This week, we're talking about our favorite Christmas memory or our most impactful Christmas memory. We're going to talk about that and get into that discussion, and whatever else comes our way, we will discuss. But that is the plan for today. We hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a good week. If you joined us last week, we talked about the subject, who taught you how to be a man? And that generated some pretty good buzz, fellas. What you think?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
We got some good feedback. Each and every one of us got some good feedback. I want to read a comment from last week's show.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Go for it.
Sure.
Let me find the thing. Okay. This is from watcher Selena Lloyd. Wow, this is really good. Would love to see this get out to a broader male audience, especially Black men. So we got people that watch. There are other comments there as well, but I just wanted to highlight that one. Thank you, Selena, for watching. If you're watching right now, please feel free to comment again. We would love that feedback. We'd love to get those comments so that we can respond and touch base with all of our listeners and watchers. What do you guys think about that comment?
I feel pretty good about it. I'm glad that we had a nice sized viewing audience and that people really responded well to that topic.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry, go ahead, brother.
Oh, I was going to say I agree with her too, because that was a great topic for not only men, period, but especially our Black young men that need to hear stuff like that.
Yeah. I think it was impactful to just about everybody who listened. Thanks of those of you who watched. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for letting people know that we were here. We're working on getting our own YouTube channel started. Right now, I'm using the Ministry of Mindset to feature Knowledge and Power on Sundays, but we're working on getting our own YouTube channel built up so that we can have all of our content dedicated to a specific page. So look for that in the future, guys.
Hey,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I actually got a personal comment sent to me, which I thought was pretty good.
Okay.
Shed some light on this comment that one of the viewers thought that we did a phenomenal job. It was great insight, and she also said that she would have subscribed, but she thought that we were just targeting men.
Oh, okay. Well,
and she wanted to know too. I thought it was good. She brought the controversy that I like to bring. She said, I didn't hear any women being talked about as far as influencing us and who taught us.
I did state that some women. I did state that some women were. Yeah.
She must have missed that part.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I can understand that point of view. It was pretty male centric. It was heavily male focused conversation.
Right.
But we do have to recognize that, especially in our communities, that women play a huge part in rearing us and guiding us and teaching us, getting us started. My wife says all the time, I'm glad that, we were able to raise our children together, because there's no way in the world I could teach a man how to be a man. But at the same time, we got single moms, divorcees, that have to do it and do a pretty good job of doing so. So if we ever revisit that topic, I'm sure we'd be well served to, approach it from all angles. I think our focus last time was just kind of what was personal to us. But as a general conversation, I'm sure we could, approach it from all angles and be more inclusive, so
That's
that
true.
the whole experience of becoming your journey as a man can be appreciated. So that's a good comment. That's a good comment. I appreciate her saying that. So the best way we can get that word out is, when you're watching, share the broadcast, put it on your social media, word of mouth. I think that is the best way that we can get that broader audience that she was referring to and that she was alluding to. If we can get commentary, comment, and as I'm saying that, as you're watching, please, in the comment section, make your statements. Let us know what you think, your thoughts. Share your stories. Please, that helps us to be more engaging and more understanding of the audience that we have and the people that are listening. So, yeah, please throw those comments down there. We love to see those comments. So, what do you think, guys? Anything else before we jump in? Go ahead, Drake.
Yeah, I'd like to say I'm glad for her comment as well. But as you know, there are so many. There's a plethora of options that women have for empowerment, and that is geared towards them. So I'm glad that we kind of targeted something for men for a change. We have so little, that we can turn to empower us and young men and Black men and men of all races. We just don't have a whole lot. So I like that we, took out that opportunity, to give us something.
That's good, Jake.
That's
That's good. I mean, I didn't think of it from that angle.
Yeah.
And so that's good. That's something that's worth consideration and worth more introspection. Probably need to mull that over and bring it back to the table, because that's pretty good point of view.
But we of course welcome them. We welcome everybody that watch.
Oh, we welcome everybody. But yeah, we started off this broadcast talking about dad stuff and man stuff. But our intention was to just talk about our experience. We love God, we love music, we love sports. Just kind of talk about everything from our perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
And our perspective is male, so that you're going to get that male perspective. But we do want to appreciate all perspectives. But that's when we're talking, you're going to get the male perspective, because that's who we are.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it also gives a good snapshot into because men don't talk, like we said last week.
Right.
So us sitting here, chapping it up, may give someone else a chance to say, I wonder, does my husband or does my significant other, feel the way some of the ways that these guys feel.
Yeah.
We try to portray a general view from, but that's also a good point, Ray. Yeah. So are you guys ready to jump into today's topic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are we ready? Okay. So like I said before, guys, please throw those comments down there. Let us know how you feel, what you're thinking. But today we are talking about what is your most impactful Christmas memory. And so I'm not going to go first. I'm gonna because mine. I'm gonna give a disclaimer, a spoiler alert that mine may contain information that you don't want the young ones to hear about Santa Claus.
Oh, I thought she's gonna.
Oh, that's right.
Cussing up in here, Nate. Make sure you want to be no cussing next.
No, nothing like that.
I'm joking with you.
But no, I just want to let you guys know. So I'll go after one of you guys go. But yeah, and you thinking about this topic, Christmas, man. We've been alive for a few years, so we've seen a few Christmases, and we've shared Christmas with our families. So I'm sure you guys have plenty of stories. But I think it's appropriate, since we're in the season, to kind of just go ahead and be joyful and talk about these things, and maybe that can help somebody with some insight.
Can before we jump into that, can I read something?
Yes,
A
go
little
ahead, bro.
short snippet. This is from Rick Warner. He wrote "The Purpose of Christmas." So
Okay.
I just kind of wanted to start off with a little snippet from what he wrote, and it says. It starts off by saying it's the largest celebration around the world each year. Other holidays get a single day, but Christmas is emphasized for the entire month. 1/20th of every year. During the Christmas season, billions of people set aside their normal routines to decorate their homes, send out greeting cards, buy gifts, go to Christmas parties, attend church services, sing Christmas songs, watch TV specials, and travel long distances to be with their families. Then I want to kind of skip ahead, and then he gives a narrative that says the Bible gives us the original Christmas story. And it says, this is coming from Luke 2:8-14. It says, there were shepherds laying out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at the night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is Christ the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in clothes and laying in a manger. Suddenly, a great company of heavenly hosts appeared with the angels, praising God and saying, glory to God in the highest, on earth, peace to men and whom his favor rests. So that's so we heard the first part about people shopping, people changing up their normal routine, people buying gifts, decorating, going to see families from long distance.
Yeah.
So that's the pressure that Christmas has brought about in the natural now. Whereas, as Rick Warren lays out from Luke, I want to hit that too, because he that was a good point. Sorry about that. Don't want to hold up the process. He goes on to say the angel said that Christmas would bring joy for all the people. But that's what the angel said. Christmas would bring joy because of what was taking place, because of the birth of Jesus.
Right.
But somehow along the way, it brings us joy when I'm able to give you, Jake, or you, Nate, that gift that you've been looking for that costs, big time loot, or, that's just going to make you say, wow, thank you for thinking of me. And sometimes if I'm not able to get that gift, that main gift, I kind of feel like there's a void, or I'm a little empty, because I wasn't able to deliver to give you the joy that you deserved this holiday.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, you starting heavy already.
I know he jumped in with 2 feet, no life jacket. He just jumped in there. So you get to go first. Go ahead, bro.
Well, I'll say here's the thing. Growing up, I come from a huge family, and 7 children. So we had some awesome Christmases. Bar none. They were, my sisters would always come back from Syracuse, and we would all just gather at our parents' house. We would always have the tree, the decorations, the good times, the laughter, and for me personally, this has nothing to do with them. I'm just talking personally for me, because I'm the youngest of 7. So I always counted how many gifts came my way. So it mattered how many I had stacked underneath the tree.
Wow.
And that made the difference, and I would cry. I would wear dark glasses because I would cry at some of the gifts that I wanted, and they would deliver, and they would get me everything that I wanted. So I'm going to be honest with you. Me personally, I developed a warped mentality towards what the whole purpose of Christmas is all about, because I always got what I wanted. And one of the gifts that I brought out that I wanted to share with you that was the most memorable was, tell me if you can see this.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bam, baby. Can you see that?
Hold on. What is that?
Wait a minute. Let me get close.
Let's get a closer look. That is the Jacksons live album from 1981.
Whoa! You still got it?
Wow.
Still got it, man. Still got it.
Is that the
Got-
original
That's
one?
cool.
That's the
That's
original.
from
That's
back
the
in
vinyl.
81.
That's the vinyl. Yep, the live concert.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Now-
what's up, man.
Yeah. Now my oldest
That's a powerful gift.
sister, she took me to that concert in August.
Wow.
And then the album came out later that year, and somewhere, I don't know if she purchased it for me or my other sister purchased it for me. I'm not sure, but you know, imagine how elated I was to get the live album of something that I was actually there at the recording. And yeah, man, that to me,
That's pretty solid.
I'm not thinking, you know, baby wrapped in wrapped in swaddling clothes in a manger, being born to give, you know, peace and joy to the world. That brought me joy in 1981.
Wow.
So that
I feel you.
that's my take. That's my take.
Man.
For then. So I'll tell my most memorable later.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, Jake. What you got?
Man, that's amazing. But I can see, you know, where you're going with that because, you know, as kids, that is what we're pretty much taught. It's about the gifts. It's about did you get what you wanted, and well, basically, did Santa Claus bring you what you want?
Exactly.
Yeah. Right, but that's another subject.
Did Santa Claus bring you something?
Yeah, but man, I'm like you. I come from my immediate family is just my mom, my dad, my sister, and myself, and I'm the oldest. So we always had great Christmases. But I come from a large family. My grandmother and my grandfather and all the aunts and uncles. There's quite a few of us. So at my grandmother's, and she made me love Christmas more than anybody because that was her favorite time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And she at her house, she had these.
Oh, did you freeze up, Jake?
Uh-oh, look like Jake froze up.
Yeah, I think he did.
He's pointing to the top of the ceiling.
There you go.
So, did you hear what I said?
You froze up for a second. Can you go back to your story, top of your story?
Okay, I was saying I come from a large family, and my grandmother made me love Christmas more than anybody because it was her favorite time of the year, and her ceilings were very tall at her house, so her tree always went like to the very high to the ceiling.
Oh man.
And as a kid, that was just amazing to me to see this. It looked like 20 feet tall as a kid. So, and her gifts for all the family were just packed and piled up all around the tree, like halfway up the wall.
Man.
So that was always just an amazing sight for me and to see growing up. And then on Christmas Day, when we all would come together and start tearing into the gifts, it was amazing. Now at home, of course, my parents kind of did the same thing with us. It's just me and my sister, and I'm the oldest. You probably missed that earlier, but it was just us. But we always had multiple gifts under the tree, and
I bet y'all did.
And the funny thing is, we lived in this really small house, but it was always like furnished to the max, so to the nines. So our friends really thought we were rich, but we were far from it. And our Christmases were the same. You know, people say, "Oh, yeah, you got all this stuff," but it's like our parents, they worked hard, you know, to do that for us. But Christmas was a pretty fun time of year all around for me. So I love it. And so I can, it's a few memories I could pull from, but my most memorable, the most impactful was later on as I became an adult. So I'll tell you about that a little later.
Okay. All right. So I guess it's on me.
It's on you, bro.
So yeah, I grew up as a single kid or an only child.
Mhm.
So I didn't have the big families to compete with on Christmas. But at the same time, you know, we lived meagerly. I'll put it that way. We lived meagerly. My mom did what she could. And, she was trained to be a nurse for a lot of years. And then, you know, it was just her for a long time. And so she didn't always have the income to get me everything I wanted and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And so Christmas for us was really just about family getting together. There was never like a boatload of gifts under the tree. On my dad's side, when I would go visit my grandparents and things like that, they were more into the gifts. So, but yeah, I was never really. It was never really gift centric in my household to where, you know, that was the first thing you thought of. You thought of Christmas.
Mm.
My first thoughts would be going to visit grandparents, aunts, things like that. Going to Christmas service at church. You know, cooking family dinner together.
Let me ask one question, Nate.
Yeah.
Because you said going to Christmas service at any time. Be real.
Mhm.
As a kid, did you ever say we got to go to church on Christmas?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I
Definitely.
bet.
I wanted to get up, get those toys and play.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but we always had to get up and go to Christmas service. You know, our church had Christmas service.
Yeah.
It didn't last long, but we always had that, you know, because the focus was Jesus is the reason for the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as an adult, you know, later on in life, I learned a little bit more about, you know, when Jesus was born and, you know,
Yeah.
you know, the history of Christmas and things like that. I don't think I'm gonna go down that road today. But you know, Ray kind of set it off at the top when he talked about how the Christmas story, the original Christmas story from the Bible,
Yeah.
you know, really talks about the birth of Jesus, bringing joy, saving
Yeah.
humanity, peace, all that kind of thing. And somehow or another, it turned into commercialism,
Yeah.
capitalism,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and gifts.
It sure did.
And that's a whole conversation. I think if you guys want to go there, we can.
Because Christmas should be inclusive.
Yeah.
And when it became about gifts, it
Mhm.
does phase out, especially what we're dealing with right now in this pandemic, man. I mean, how huge is our unemployment in the United States now? And
Right. Yeah.
honestly speaking, a big concern for me, and I really honestly need to take it to prayer and not take the onus of worrying about that because nothing I can do to change it. But how many people are going to collapse under the weight of the pressure about what they can't do this year
Yeah.
because of the state that the world is in?
Man.
Yeah. I had that conversation earlier today about that very thing. There's so much job loss. There's so much unemployment. The economy is not good right now for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Exactly.
Right.
And
Right.
so, but you know, how many of us are going to really try to put ourselves in debt or forsake bills to make sure our kids or our family or our wife or whoever has those gifts, because we don't want to look raggedy on Christmas and not have gifts for anybody.
Exactly.
You're
And
right.
that leads me to my first most impactful Christmas memory.
Okay.
This is probably the most impactful Christmas memory.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take you back to 1998. I believe the year was 1998.
Okay. So we knew you then.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you knew us. I was in the thick of marriage and fatherhood.
Yeah, we very much knew you.
So
Right.
so this is a pretty, and I'll never forget this story because it left such a impact and a mark on my heart. And you know, we asked this question: what is our most impactful Christmas memory, and why? And how did it kind of change and shape our thoughts and behaviors from that point going forward? I think that's really the meat of the discussion. And so I had little kids, 4 little children. Carolyn wasn't born yet. 4 little children. And Christmas was coming. And I knew it was either going to be lights and food or Christmas gifts.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
I had laid it out to my wife, and
Yeah.
we were like, oh, we gotta make sure, our heat is on, our electricity is on, and we got food in the house. If we don't have gifts and all that stuff. I mean, she was ride or die with that. And she was kind of preparing the kids. And as a man, I was like, I can't do that to my family. I was thinking of all kind of ways to come up with some loot.
Yeah.
So that I could, and this is like before payday loans is a thing. So that wasn't an option for me.
Wow.
So I was thinking of all kind of ways to come up with some money, maybe not pay the rent, so I could get these kids some gifts, because I don't want them to wake up. Because, they had, to that point, the kids had been waking up on Christmas morning and having a pretty good time. Because we had focused on the gift giving, as a rule. But this year, it just wasn't going to happen. And so went to church a few weeks before Christmas. And forgive me, I can't remember who the brother was I was talking to. I was talking to a brother, and he's asking me, how, what you guys ready for Christmas, blah, 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 blah. And I was kind of sheepishly like, yeah. He's like, and he kind of picked up on what's wrong. So I was like, you know what? I got to make a manly decision. And I told him what was going on. And he said, yeah, man, you got to make sure your household is cared for. This gift thing is out of control, blah, blah, blah. And so he prayed with me. And right before service ended, the pastor announced, the assistant pastor announced that the brothers had to have a meeting after service. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I was ready. Okay. Michelle, after service, I'm gonna go to this meeting, and then we can leave. She was getting the kids all situated. And I go back to the fellowship hall, and they was like, no, not you, brother. This is for the deacons and stuff like that. And so, okay, all right. So then I went on home, didn't think nothing of it. And so, long story short, just to speed up the time of this story, that Christmas Eve, the tree was, like you see this tree behind me?
Yeah.
It looked nice. The tree looked nice, but underneath the tree was Slim Pickens. And kids had gone to bed, and we get a knock on the door, Christmas Eve. And I go to the door. I'm talking, looking at Michelle, like, you expecting company? But nobody said they were coming over. And open the door, and it was one of the deacons from the church.
Wow.
And our praise and worship leader. And they said, you ain't got to say nothing, just let us come on in. And they had bags and gifts and toys.
Wow, man, you
and
serious?
boxes. I mean,
man.
we didn't have no room in that living room for all the stuff they had brought.
Oh,
I mean, they brought my wife's clothes, they brought my wife gifts, they brought me gifts, they brought all the kids gifts and money.
Yeah.
Come to find out.
That's amazing.
And they dropped it off, said they loved us, and left. We wasn't looking for no accolades. And it was just night and day difference. I mean, under that tree was just like the love they showed my family that night. That church was, I've never felt that loved by an outside party.
Yeah.
Much less the church. You know how church folk are. And when those kids woke up, we didn't sleep. We didn't sleep. I cried all night, rejoiced all night. Yeah. And so when the kids woke up, they was like, "What? What is this?" And it was an opportunity. It was an opportunity for me to talk about the goodness of God.
Wow.
Did the gifts come before they woke up?
Yes.
Oh,
so they were asleep.
Oh yeah.
So they didn't see it. We didn't have to wrap anything. Everything was already wrapped or put in the bag.
Wow,
and, man.
That's all right.
And then
Yeah.
when we went to church the next on that Sunday, nobody said nothing. It was like
Right.
it wasn't anybody looking for a pat on the back or an attaboy.
Yeah.
But,
Like we did this.
Yeah, but we sure did testify. And but,
Dude.
man, I mean, just
Woo.
and what that did for me, why it was most impactful for me was number one, the love of God being demonstrated.
Yes.
Because just because I told a brother doesn't mean that they had to do that.
Right.
That was God putting on their heart and impressing upon their heart to be a blessing to this small growing family.
Wow, man.
And
That's exactly what it was.
the
love of God.
The love of God being shed abroad for all to see.
For
And
Christmas.
it was an opportunity for me to share with my children, look at what God has done.
Mm-hmm.
And now it impacted me to the degree where, you look at other people's plights a little differently now.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to appreciate what people are going through and what they're feeling, especially during this time, because like you said, with this pandemic and the economic downturn, there are people right now who are faced with that particular decision.
Yeah.
Am I going to pay my bills or am I going to get my kids these Christmas gifts? And I made up in my mind that I was not going to give in to the pressure that year.
Wow, man. And you shared that. That's the thing about it that's blowing my mind as a man.
Yeah.
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 For you to share that to another dude, man, that's a drop the mic moment right there. That showed
right. Humility. Yeah.
Exactly. That you had come to a place in yourself that it was settled. Like you said, it was settled. This is what I have to do. This is the call I have to make.
Yeah.
And you squared your shoulders and you shared it with somebody and you didn't try to fake, by saying, oh yeah, they're gonna I'm preparing for this great Christmas. Robotic.
Nope. I kept it real. I kept it real.
Yeah.
I kept it real, and God moves. And that shows me that he does hear, he does see.
Yeah.
That if you put your trust, it's no guarantee what he's gonna do.
No guarantee.
Exactly.
But that faith and trust kind of nudges him to act on your behalf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that applies to any area of life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge lesson I learned that year.
That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Impactful.
Yeah.
That was the request, the most impactful, right?
Yeah.
That could be a Christmas movie.
It could be.
Definitely.
Maybe we should work on that.
Right.
So how do you look at Christmas now moving forward?
I thank God because, I haven't been in such dire straits like that since that time. Mm-hmm. And because we have the children and we did set them up for the gift experience, I've always been like, I like to get them something.
Yeah.
But I think since then, I haven't really been like obsessed with either or. If we have it, we have it. If we don't, we'll do what we can.
Yeah.
And we share with the children, this is an opportunity for you to get things you like and things you need, but don't make it an expectation that you're gonna get cashed out every Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do like to be a blessing to them and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine is kind of similar to that. And it was around the same time too.
Okay.
Same year, around 98, 99. Of course, my son was like you. He was the only child at home with me, basically. And because of how I grew up seeing Christmas, I did him the same way. He was the only kid, but he had gifts packed all around the tree, stacked up just for him.
Yeah.
And this particular year, I was laid off. I was laid off work, and despite having all those gifts, I was hoping that I had raised him not to be a materialistic kid, and true enough, he wasn't. But I was doing the same thing. I was preparing him like, Dad, I haven't been working this year, and You know,
Right.
Christmas
That's
might
our
be a little
conversation.
different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so understanding. He was like, "Oh, it's all right, Dad," or whatever. And so that Christmas, came around, and basically every gift for him came from the dollar store that year.
Praise the
Whereas
Lord for the dollar store.
right. Whereas I usually go all out, but I did.
Right.
I just kind of did the same thing at the dollar store, and he really didn't. He didn't complain, and he basically taught me a lesson. Like, it ain't about all this. We here, and I love you, and you love me, and he was fine. He was fine with it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you know what? That it basically taught me you don't have to do all that, especially for kids. They can understand when, when things are tight. If you teach them that way too.
Mm-hmm. I think
Because
that's
there are
part of
some
it.
kids, who will have a fit if they don't get, the Jordans or something
Right.
crazy.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Or the
PlayStation.
video game. Yeah, the
Yeah.
games,
Mm-hmm.
I want it
and they'll
now.
be right, be mad the whole Christmas. Like, no. But
Right.
that's what
Is
I
that
like
it?
about
That's all you got me?
one of
Right.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about my favorite holiday cartoon, that the Peanuts, Charlie Brown
love
Christmas.
it. Love it. That's my
Oh,
favorite.
yeah.
That's the whole message of it. And the Christmas becoming too commercialized, and it's about, and when Linus gave the real meaning of Christmas, man,
Dude, I didn't
that was
know
it.
he was quoting from the Bible. I did not know that.
What?
You didn't know that?
All
Man.
these years, I did not know that until maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Blown away.
I know. And do you know that they tried to not air that part a few years ago?
I know
Really?
people went nuts.
Yeah, they did.
They're
And
like,
now,
no, you ain't about to take that out.
right.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I remember
and
that.
now somebody bought the rights to the Charlie Brown Christmas. I forgot who, but one of the major companies, and they're trying to air it only on certain networks or something.
Yeah,
and
I think
people
ABC.
they're still upset about it.
You can't hardly find it.
Right.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I missed it when they aired the Thanksgiving when I missed it.
Yeah, I did too. Because it's not like it used to be where you knew it was coming on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that message basically resonated with me and Lil Jake because of, watching. We had our pick of Christmas movies that we watched every year. But every Christmas, I tried to have him read that same scripture that Linus read,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of embed it into them that, this is the reason for Christmas, even though we do all this other stuff.
Right.
Don't ever forget this part of it.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Wow.
Mhm.
Nate, I saw some kind of I don't know if it was a comment coming in or whatever at the bottom of my screen, but I can't read it.
On YouTube?
So just be checking for
for
people comments, because something popped up and then it went away and it's not there anymore. So to you.
Okay, let me look and see.
Yeah.
Keep on talking though. I'm gonna look and see.
Yeah, but are you done, Jake?
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Ray.
Okay. So you guys, brought the 98 vibe. I can't go back into the archive like that. So I'm gonna flip it ahead.
You did 81.
Yeah, I did do 81, but I'm gonna flip it ahead now from my most impactful that really hit me. I'm gonna flip it 20 years to 2018.
Okay.
And this time, unlike someone coming through on behalf of the kids, like your story, Nate, and Jake, you still being able to be a blessing to Lil Jake, I'm gonna talk about my three being a blessing to me. And how they I'm a huge music head. I love music, and I just don't listen to garbage. I like just good quality music. So one of the things that I have been looking for like 3 years, and believe it or not, I couldn't find it. And that was Stevie Wonder's song "In the Key of Life."
Oh yeah.
Couldn't find it, man. And I'm not an order online type guy. I like to go to the brick and mortar. I like to handle my music, and now I'm streaming a little bit more. But the bottom line is, my kids knew that I had been looking for this for some time, because they know I take my music serious.
Yeah.
So this Christmas was the first Christmas after my divorce, and I was a basket case, not knowing what it was going to look like. The family unit, not what it had been for the last 21 Christmases or whatever. So I'm getting them for the half a day, then they're going to the mother the other half. So I'm trying to make Christmas as impactful and meaningful as I can, like normal, like nothing has changed.
Right.
But I'm a mess. And they're young, and I know that they don't have any money, but somehow they scraped together and they found this CD.
You got it.
And they presented this CD to me on Christmas morning, and dudes, I cried like a baby. Not because it was Stevie Wonder, but it was because, number one, the dynamics had changed.
Yeah.
And they gathered together. The three of them gathered together enough to say, "Hey, what can we pull off for Dad?" And somebody listened, if not all three of them, listened enough to say he really wants that CD. Let's get it. Let's present it to him, and we're gonna pool our money together to make this thing happen.
That's beautiful.
And it wasn't what I gave them, man. It was what they gave to me.
Yeah.
And they just showed me that, man, they listened and they love me, man. And things were different for all of us. But those three, I call them my crew, they were able to muster up enough strength to say, let's not put all the pressure on him or our mom, but let's do our part to make Christmas meaningful for Dad.
That's beautiful.
I love that.
Man, that was powerful. I
can see why that's impactful.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Especially since the dynamics had changed, like you said.
Yeah.
So you weren't knowing what to expect.
Exactly, because you think kids still want you to make it about them. I know you're gonna come correct now because y'all ain't together no more, so you better get me what I want. But that wasn't the vibe. That wasn't the vibe. Man. The vibe was, hey, let's make this meaningful for him, and that was the only thing I got that whole year. But I'm not really into the presents anymore. Because I really grew out of that. I want to be a blessing to other people, but it's not about the presents for me. But again, for them to listen, man, and be spot on with that particular CD that was hard to find.
Yeah,
I was like, man, guys. So needless to say, I'm an emotional dude. I don't mind crying. And I cried, man. I dropped the tears.
I can see why, man.
Yeah,
that's impactful.
Yeah.
So I got a question. I got a question for you guys.
Yep.
Given, we live in the United States and, Christmas is what it is here. In a lot of other countries, it's not like that. And we read the Christmas Story. But at the same time, we know that it's a huge commercial thing over here in the States.
Yeah.
What can we do, in our families to try to find that balance? I mean, you don't want to go unless you want to, you can be like some religions, and I'm not going to say who they are, that just say, all holidays are off limits. They're all pagan, demonic. They can't be celebrated. Or you can go to the extreme where you take Christ out of Christmas and just say Xmas or just holiday. You don't even say Christmas. So you got the two extremes. How do you find, within your own families, a balance so that people appreciate the real meaning and also can enjoy the holiday as it is?
Well, I can say something that we did do for when I became when I had my own family intact. We always recognize Jesus Christ first. We didn't start off tearing into gifts. And sometimes that may have seemed like I was I spoiled I was a party pooper, or I spoiled the fun, because most kids want to wake up and just run downstairs and tear apart everything.
Right.
But no,
Yeah.
that was not how we started our Christmas morning. It was actually taking a pause, praying. They would have to read a scripture, not something that we prompted them to read, but it would be something that, okay, you know this day is coming, so be ready. Coming from your heart. And that was just my way, and their mom's way, in the way we tried to train them up in the way that, I know it's going to be a fight that this thing is commercial, but as much as we can empower you to look at it differently, this is how we want to approach it. And after we've acknowledged Jesus, after we prayed as a family and been thankful, then we can look and tear into whatever's under the tree. And I think that we just have to keep it mindful like that, it's nothing about us being so great that we're able to afford the things that's underneath that tree. Whatever you get, if it's one gift, if it's several gifts, we still have to give glory to God that gave us the ability to go out to work every day, because our health was intact, because we had a job that was still there. So we kind of got to put the onus back on. It is nothing great that I did. It's all about Jesus allowing that to be possible.
Right. That's good. That's good. How about you, Jake? Any ideas or things that you put in practice to find a balance?
Pretty much the same thing. I always have the family read the Christmas scripture, that Luke, before we tear into the gifts and all that, or at some point in the day. And well, I remember growing up, we didn't have like a Christmas service unless Christmas fell on Sunday.
Okay.
And then we would have to go to church before we opened our gifts.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that was tough on. But we and our family was, we're believers anyway, so we did the church thing, and I had to learn speeches and all that. And
Christmas speeches. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Christmas speeches. Yep. The skits.
And even though our kids didn't have to, they didn't have to learn that. They've hardly even had little kid services for, these later generations. But we definitely should get back to that, at least in the home, whereas you are teaching Jesus is the reason for this season.
Right. Yeah, I try to, in the last few years, I'd say I've been more focused on the spiritual aspects rather than the commercial or gift giving aspect. And communicated that clearly to my family as to why. As you get older and you learn things about our holidays, and you do your research and you find out some things, you kind of say, well, it's not as big a deal as we have made it to be in our society. So, I've been kind of just, like I said earlier, if it's in the cards, if we have it, we have it. If we don't, we don't. But the focus is really going to be on the reason, Jesus being the reason for the season, and on the family. I think as if we come together as a family, especially in our house, we like to have Christmas dinner. And so that's an opportunity to kind of be celebratory of the gift we were given. The gift of Christ Jesus, and all that he did for us over the course of his lifetime, and after. His gift is eternal. His gift is long lasting.
The greatest.
The greatest gift of all time. The greatest gift. Right. And so I can understand, modeling gift giving after that. And so that's why I don't necessarily have a problem with gift giving, but just to keep in mind and keep the family in mind that, he really is the most important gift, and we need to celebrate that. And so if you don't get a single gift,
Yeah.
we were given the gift we were given
You're right.
trumps anything I can give you.
Exactly.
So that's my take. Just to find balance and keep everybody on a level head, because like you said, kids can go to the extreme, and as grown-ups too. We talked about it earlier, how we put pressure on ourselves to buy and give. I don't know. I'm not necessarily convinced that God looks at that and it's like, yeah. Great job. I think he probably is like, man, you don't need to really be going all crazy over it. But that's just how we do. Like I said, you grow up in a society where that's promoted, and you're taught that from the time you were born. That's what you do, and you get until you know better.
Until you know better.
Until you know better. Yeah.
That's it. So the Santa Claus piece, Nate. I mean, I know we're winding down now, but before so
you want to hear it?
Yeah, I want to hear it, man. And maybe we can close out with so you guys start thinking about this. So when we come to that part before we end, what's one tradition you look forward to doing with your family this upcoming holiday?
Okay,
yeah,
that's a good one.
But let's hear about Santa Claus.
Let's hear. Okay, like I said, spoiler alert.
Right.
For those of you who might be watching now or by replay, we're going to get into my thoughts about Santa Claus, which might conflict with yours. So if you need to tune out, if you need to turn away, I'm going to give you a few seconds here to turn away, and in 10 seconds, I'll be right back. All right. So here is my second most impactful Christmas moment.
All right.
I am an 8-year-old child. I was good all year. Year's 1978. So we
stand in those 8s, aren't we?
On the 8. So I was 7. I was 7 most of the year, and then 8 at the end of the year. But
okay,
I was good all year. I wrote Santa Claus all the letters. I went to all the Santa Claus places and sat on my man's lap and let him know what I wanted.
Look through the catalog.
I had it all picked out. I took a handwritten letter to the Santa Claus at the store just to make sure he got it. Didn't get in no trouble.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, and so on Christmas Eve, I'm like, when I wake up in the morning, it's about to be on. It's about to be on.
Right.
I got up Christmas morning, and all I had under the tree.
Don't say a lump of coal.
Nope, not a lump of coal. A pack of socks.
Can we laugh now, or we want us to laugh later?
You can laugh now. And it was them old school socks with the stripes at the top.
Oh Lord.
and the way here's the thing. The label said to Nathan from Santa Claus. And I'm like, I did not ask Santa Claus anywhere its whole year for no pack of socks. Where's the Micronauts toys? Where's the lumber thing I wanted? Where's the little where's all that stuff I asked for?
Oh my goodness.
And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, my mom is like sitting there because I'm not reacting to the socks.
Dude, right. Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
That reminds me of that movie, The Christmas Story.
Christmas Story.
And my man gave him some rat meat. It said, Merry Christmas.
Rat meat, man, that was cruel and unusual.
Oh my God.
That was horrible.
I'm sorry.
No, man. So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this label on the thing, and I'm like, that looks strangely like my Aunt Melva's handwriting.
Oh.
I'm like, and this is when I responded. I looked at my mom. I said, "Don't this look like Auntie Melva's handwriting to you?" And she said, "Oh, Oh, that's from Santa Claus. And I looked her straight in my eye. I said, how did Santa Claus get in here? We live in a 2-family flat with no chimney. How he get in here? Oh, he must have rung the doorbell and I let him in.
Oh my goodness.
I said, and at that point I said, you know what, Mom? There is no Santa Claus. I'm not gonna call you a liar, but there is no Santa Claus. And don't try to tell me no more for the rest of your life that there's a Santa Claus. Because Santa Claus will not bring me no socks with my Auntie Melvin's handwriting on the label. He can't get in this house. There's no chimney. You ain't let him in. He ain't break in. Nothing. Santa Claus. I'm done with Santa Claus. And from that point, I did not believe in Santa Claus no more.
Oh man,
that's a hard way to learn.
That was it. That was it. I was done with Santa Claus.
Man. That's hilarious. I'm sorry.
I was cold turkey from that point. I'm like, I'm done.
Oh boy.
You know what's funny though? What's funny though is because we did not. Here's one thing that we didn't do. We did not tell them. We didn't tell our kids about that man.
Yeah,
we said
we didn't either.
Oh, okay.
We was like, all your gifts is coming from your parents by the grace of God.
Yep.
That's it.
That's the truth.
Ain't nobody coming here dropping off no gifts.
Hey, let me say this: we didn't tell our kids either. And I remember us having to. Seth is our oldest. When he was in elementary, we would have to tell him, "Dude, don't go to school for everybody."
Right, right. Don't tell the other kids.
He's trying to, and he wasn't hating, but he wanted to set the record straight.
Oh,
we had to be called, to the principal's office a few times because of Seth.
Oh
Man, want to
man,
set the record straight, man. And we like, son, we understand, but he couldn't understand why. Why can y'all tell us, but we can't? That's not your role. That's the parents' role.
Right.
We had to tell our kids the same thing. Don't tell your cousins because they all believe. Don't go to school talking. You got to keep this between us.
Wow, hilarious.
Well, I kept the illusion going.
Did you?
I did. And, but I grew up with kids like that, like Seth would come trying to tell, ain't that man Santa Claus ain't real. But wait, my parents got us good. Well, they got me good because when around the time when I stopped believing and started knowing better, we always put the cookies out that night before, and we would wake up and see the bite marks on the cookies and all that.
Man, they played you. They played you.
But wait a minute. Now, I'm older. My sister, she's still believing, but I'm like, I'm knowing now, oh, mom and dad doing this. So my dad, he, from somewhere, now we didn't have a fireplace or anything, but from somewhere he got ashes and had them in this little cup, sitting by the cookies.
Oh my God.
When I tell you I'm trying to figure out where in the world he get these ashes from.
Man, that's great plan.
Oh, the lengths our parents will go through, boy.
I'm like, well, dang, maybe he is. Maybe he did come. I'm probably about 10 or 11 at this time.
Wow.
And
if I was done at 8.
Then I figured out where the ashes came from, finally. And I said, aha.
Excuse me.
But I never let on. But at that point, I was like, okay, you got me. You got me good.
Wow.
That's hilarious, Jake.
That is hilarious. I can't believe your dad did that.
Yeah.
I figured he'd be the one. I'd be figured he'd be the one saying ain't no such thing.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
No.
I would have thought
they.
Bad, Jake.
But
all right, fellas. So, tradition you looking most forward to as we get ready to close out? Because we're on an hour.
Yeah, we get to that time. I try to and I never really kicked it off like I wanted to. I always wanted to have a family Christmas Eve party.
Okay.
Oh,
and we did it a couple times, and it went over pretty well. But I like to have that be like a legacy that the kids pick up long after I'm gone, something to look forward to.
Make it a slumber party.
And something that they do in their own families, So I gotta really put that in gear. That's something I really want to do. Have like hors d'oeuvres and snacks, and watch Christmas movies, and read from a Christmas book about the true meaning of Christmas.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But we did that a few times over the years, but nothing that was really consistent. So I like to really get that in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about anybody else?
Well, our annual tradition is we bake cookies together, and
Oh, that's nice.
you know, all of that. So as long as we can continue doing that, I'm good.
That's cool.
That's nice. That's a nice one. That's always fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say for my crew is we go ice skating on Christmas Eve.
Oh, you have been doing that for a while.
Yeah, man, for about, I want to say about a little over 10 years now. A little more than 10 years. I've lost count. But that is something that I look forward to. And they, you know, if I don't mention it, they're mentioning it now because it's set. And this will be unusual. This is probably the last really one we're all together because they're older. Right. Andrew's the last one to graduate, you know, and he'll be going to the Navy, so he won't be stationed here next Christmas.
All right.
So so I'm just going to enjoy this one coming up now, and who knows, maybe there'll be new traditions set after this one here.
Yeah.
But that's what I look forward to, the ice skating on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that sounds like fun too.
That's something I always wanted to do is ice skate.
I can't skate, so I'm not even worried about it.
Man, I couldn't skate when we first started. I just got out there and just did the run skate or walk skate. You know?
There you go.
Okay.
But now I got it. I get a little fancy on there now.
Olympics.
One of these years, I'm going to join you.
Yeah, come on through. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Come on through.
Yeah,
the ice is mine.
Yeah, you guys always like to have a good time when you do that.
Yeah.
Well, it has been rather another riveting conversation. I think we did had some good stories and some good insight, into our journey through Christmases over the years. And so thank you guys for joining, me again in this forum. And I look forward to, our next conversation. As per usual, before we end it, we've got to get our wisdom nugget from either Jake or Ray. Who's it going to be?
Ray's so good at it.
I know he's natural.
All right, fellas.
So Ray, give us your wisdom nugget.
We're approaching the holiday time, so it's going to be a lot of good food and all that kind of stuff. So if you taste food so good that it makes you want to slap your mama, I guarantee that will be the last thing you ever taste.
See there?